Yeah, that's the Chelsea boss, Liam Rosenior. Quite a spectacular light show continuing here at the Parc des Princes. They've got plumes of flame shooting up into the air, fireworks now as well. And we're still yet to see the two sets of players take to the field of play. Tony Cascarino is with me tonight for commentary on Talksport 2. Tony, what have you made of Liam Rosenior so far? In charge for just over 2 months at Chelsea. What's his impact been like?
Impressive, Joe. It really has. I mean, I've been at a couple of press conferences with Liam, listening to him. He communicates really well. I'm led to believe that he also does with the players, his club, and makes it very clear what he expects from them. And there will be changes. And, you know, they've built a squad. And that squad needs to be utilised because they've played a lot of football. And we talked about the Club World Cup in the summer. Both teams are in the final. They've had to manage their seasons, and that's what Rosenior's talking about. And what we saw at Wrexham, and then we come to tonight's game, and there's been 10 changes in the lineup. So that's what he's doing, managing his group, which he's done really, really well.
Here come the two teams out onto the field of play here in Paris. Kick-off just moments away on Talksport 2. Paris Saint-Germain, led by Marquinhos, the Champions League holders, of course, after that memorable 5-0 victory over Inter Milan in the final last season. Chelsea have joined them. Chelsea in a change kit tonight of all white. And in just a few moments, the Champions League anthem is going to be ringing around this famous stadium. Quite the atmosphere ahead of PSG against Chelsea, live and in full here on Talksport 2. PSG, Cass, maybe not the force that they were last season, or certainly in the year of 2025.
No, they've had a little bit of a drop-off, and that's shown in the French league. They're leading at the moment, but only just. Performances and players injured, Joe. You can't carry a whole squad full of players and expect, 60-plus games in the season not having some consequence. And look, I'm looking at this lineup and I'm looking at the players, and you can tell there's an edge on this game. This is the Club World Cup final being played as a Champions League game now. You got the better of us in the summer. That's what PSG players will be thinking. Now it's our turn. You're on our turf to try and get a result.
They want revenge tonight, do PSG. The two teams shaking hands on the halfway line. Chelsea emerge, holding on to the club pennants is the captain, Reece James. João Pedro tonight, Cass, how key is he to everything that Chelsea do? Because at the moment, in terms of goals, everything goes through him.
Yeah, well, he's got they got a savvy old player at the heart of the defence, Marquinhos, who hasn't played regularly of late, Joe. But for me, he's the leader. He's the player at the heart of the defence that guides and leads, and just that experience. João Pedro tonight, because he's such a clever player, he'll drop off, he'll run into spaces, people will join him. He does that really well. But he's absolutely brimming with confidence. We know from what we've seen in recent weeks of how well he's played, the number of goals he's got. So lots to look forward to.
Chelsea all in white tonight with red trim, and PSG all in black with yellow trim. The two teams are having their photos taken at the moment. 2,000 Chelsea fans have made the trip, including the Gillingham supporters branch.
The Gillingham supporters club of Chelsea fans. Yeah, really, really good. As you're seeing, Reece James and Marquinhos, shaking hands on the halfway line. And the noise is always... I've been fortunate, Joe, over the years to be in PSG Stadium.
Yeah.
Obviously, I lived in Paris for a couple of years after I left Marseille, and went to a number of games, and it's pretty electric, and it's exactly that tonight.
Well, this is a rematch between two clubs who may be establishing an enduring rivalry. The European champions meet the world champions in Paris 8 months after Chelsea's amazing win on that tempestuous day in New Jersey in the final of the Club World Cup. PSG don't have the relative air of invincibility they had for so much of 2025, but an ability to find consistently great performances continues to elude Chelsea. And as we've already seen this week in Bergamo and Madrid, you can certainly lose a two-legged tie in the first game. So any sort of positive result to take back to the bridge would surely be welcome for Liam Rosenior. And Chelsea are doing what they have done in recent days. The team huddle is taking place right over the middle of the centre spot. Whether it's designed to intimidate or do something else, I'm not too sure, but this is the routine that Chelsea have gone through, Tony.
Yeah, they're into their mindset, and you know, I think this is going to... The reason why I'm so looking forward to this match is not it's just two teams, it's two young sides as well. A lot of young players in both set of squads. So, you know, and look at the keepers. The keeper situation at Paris. They got rid of Donnarumma, and they've now changed, and they're on to their second goal. Savinov got the nod tonight, but it's got to be tested. It really has.
So it's PSG all in black with yellow trim, Chelsea all in white with red trim, and after all the talk and all the build-up, the game is ready to begin. It is the round of 16 in the Champions League, and PSG are going to blast the ball forward straight from kick-off, almost NFL style, to win some territory, and it's a Chelsea throw. Chelsea playing from right to left in the left-back position, and Marc Cucurella will come across to take it.
Well, it's quite a funny scenario, isn't it? Cucurella knows he's going to be the first Chelsea player to handle the ball, because PSG do this week in, week out, kick the ball out of play as a starting place.
It's like aiming for touch, isn't it? As Marquinhos gets across and sweeps the ball upfield, but he's carried it out of play on this carpet-like surface, and it will be a throw again to Chelsea, 10 yards shy of the halfway line. We'll keep you up to date with all the goals as they go in around the grounds, around the country tonight. After we brought you Bayer Leverkusen 1, Arsenal 1 on Talksport 2 earlier. They are underway in Madrid, live on Talksport for Real Madrid against Manchester City, and the score is 0-0. Chelsea have possession with Cole Palmer looking to wriggle forward to the halfway line, dispossessed in the middle of midfield by João Neves, who fizzes the ball all the way back to the giant goalkeeper Safonov, all in green.
Well, we saw a lot of goalkeeping errors last night, and Jorgensen just about got away with his pass. He fed it into Enzo Fernandez, and it was a difficult ball to take under control, but as good as he is, he managed to handle it. Bit of a risk early doors in the game.
Ball threaded upfield by Doué towards Ousmane Dembélé, back in the starting lineup tonight for PSG, having come off the bench against Monaco in the defeat here at the weekend following a calf injury. Birmingham 1, QPR 0 is the latest score in the Championship, and Wimbledon lead Blackpool by a 1-0 in League One tonight. PSG look to thread the ball forward on the far side of the field towards Bradley Barcola, but it's out of play for a PSG throw now, which Nuno Mendes will take. 2 minutes gone, and it's 0-0.
Well, I would say the front three of PSG all quick. Whether it's Doué, whether it's Dembélé, whether it's Barcola, all of them have got a real turn of foot. So Chelsea know they've got to be able to handle that in the middle of the pitch. Stop the balls, the passes, the players to get their head up and find a pass.
Well, the referee has stopped the game here because of a foul on the near side of the field, and Moises Caicedo has gone down rolling around in agony. I think he was just caught by the trailing leg of the PSG player Doué coming across him, and Chelsea have got a free kick nonetheless, 10 yards into the PSG half.
Yeah, it was a foul. Doué just stamped on the toe of Caicedo. They can be sore. Chelsea got a free kick.
And they go back to the halfway line with it. Chalobah finding Marc Cucurella, who gives it away. Slightly risky pass back towards Caicedo, and PSG have it inside the centre circle with João Neves wearing number 87 tonight. Quite unusual in football to have the number 87 on the field. You're not a fan, Cass?
Yeah, a high number. But watch the movement, Joe, as you watch PSG. They interchange positions really quickly. They move the ball fast. Just been caught offside there. Just offside.
Offside against Barcola on the far side of the field, a yard or so. João Pedro looking to get on the end of a long ball driven downfield. It's over his head beyond Willian Pacho as well. No foul by the Ecuadorian, and PSG have it back with Nuno Mendes in the left back position on the far side of the field. PSG 0, Chelsea 0. João Neves has dribbled the ball out of play. Throw in taken quickly by Cole Palmer. Reece James with a low cross, and it only needed a touch. João Pedro swung at it. Neto was there as well. It somehow drifted behind and away for a goal kick. He did get a touch, João Pedro, but he didn't direct it towards goal.
No, what a ball in by Reece James. It's whipped in right across the face of the goal. Goalkeeper can't come forwards, trying to get on the end of it. Like you said, João Pedro just gets a touch, and Neto was probably the more likely if it had got to him, because he was racing into the far post. What a ball by Reece James.
11 goals in his last 12 appearances for Chelsea. João Pedro, you'd have banked on him scoring there, but the faintest of touches to the ball, which wasn't enough to divert it on target. Jurgensen with a really poor kick out, only as far as Doué, pulls it back. Dembele misses his kick. Cucurella clatters the ball away from danger for Chelsea. João Neves with a long-range shot, and that's gathered by Jurgensen. Well, we saw a very nervy goalkeeping performance in Antonin Kinski last night for Spurs at Atletico, didn't we, Tony? And Jurgensen already not exactly inspiring confidence in the Chelsea goal.
I don't understand it, Joe. You're into the first 5 minutes in Paris, and you're given a chance away like that by needlessly trying to overplay from the keeper, Jurgensen.
Here comes Palmer down the right, and he wins a corner. Very high-tempo, energetic start to this game inside the opening 5.5 minutes.
Well, for the first 5, this doesn't look like this is going to end 0-0 at all. Chances already, a couple each side. Just going back to Jurgensen, I don't know why he's tried to risk that pass in the first 5 minutes of a game. PSG obviously are closing down.
Plenty of white shirts forward here for Chelsea. The boos from the home supporters. The corner's drifted into the near post, flicked on by Malo Gusto and diverted behind by Willian Pacho. Good in swinging delivery that from Pedro Neto.
Yeah, it was a great little leap there. I think it was Vitinha who just got that leap and headed it out. It's another corner for Chelsea.
Neto, the number 7 with the blue boots on, will take it. He lofts the ball into the 6-yard box, flapped out by the goalkeeper Safanov, who manages to divert it away from danger. Then Hakimi scoops the ball forward high and long, and Doué can't take it in his stride. Stumbles as he crosses the halfway line. It's won back by James, and Chelsea have possession again. Certainly has the feel of a game where we will see plenty of goal-mouth action. Another slightly risky ball upfield, out of defence by goalkeeper Jurgensen. Chelsea hold on to it and now have the ball with Caicedo charging forward and rolling it square to Enzo Fernandez.
Well, PSG swarm you like bees round honey. They just literally, the first moment they get a chance, they're attacking the ball.
Thundered long by Fofana, high up towards João Pedro. It goes through his legs. Willian Pacho is there to shepherd it back to the goalkeeper. You're listening to Talksport 2, live from the last 16 of the UEFA Champions League. Of course, the return leg is next week. But already you get the sense that plenty of drama is to unfold over the next couple of matches involving these two teams. Out on the right for PSG is Warren Zaïre-Emery. Still very much a youngster, though he's been around for ages, it feels like. Safanov strokes it left to Pacho, and now Nuno Mendes in the left-back position again. He'll roll it forward towards Barcola, and now Dembele dropping deep into his own half. Lovely sweeping pass out to the right-hand side from the left wing to find Hakimi, who nudges it forward and gets it back from Zaïre-Emery. Hakimi darting down the right-hand channel, blocked off by Cucurella, but the referee's pulled the play back for an earlier foul on Hakimi. It's a PSG free kick.
Well, when he's in full flow, Hakimi is a real handful. A fabulous player, the Moroccan. He really is I'd say, adventurous right back. He's the most attacking right back in World Cup football. So it's another opportunity for a set piece from Vitinha to get the ball into the danger area.
Yes, Vitinha, the former Wolves loanee,
yes,
at one stage earlier in his career, when he was still at Porto. Plenty forward here for PSG. Vitinha rolls the ball square. Hakimi from about 30 yards plays the loose pass to Doué, who chips it to the back post, headed down by Pacho. Diving header away by Pedro Neto for Chelsea. Pacho recovers backwards to Nuno Mendes, away down the inside left. He scampers forward into the penalty area. James half gets across, loses it. Barcola tries to hit it, blocked off by Fofana. Chelsea get away with it defensively there. No great conviction in the defending from Chelsea. And back it goes to Hakimi, midway inside the Chelsea half. He skips beyond Neto. And now Doué out towards the right, nudges it further wide. Dembele hoists the cross in, nodded down to Bradley Barcola. Oh yes, what a hit that was! In off the bar, left-footed. A fine strike by Barcola, but Chelsea punished for really hesitant defending. The home crowd have gone mad here at the Parc des Princes. Luis Enrique celebrates. PSG 1, Chelsea 0. That was a howitzer of a finish.
Well, that was nearly 2 minutes of consistent pressure by PSG. And Chelsea couldn't get the ball away. They couldn't clear their lines. They had everybody back. And what a piece of play from Dembele. A knockdown, and Barcola hits it, chests it down, hits him with his left foot. Top corner, Jorgensen, absolutely no chance. This is a warning sign of how dangerous PSG can be. What a goal. João Neves knocked down, and then see Barcola just sets it on his chest, hits it, gets a slight deflection, but still to take nothing away. It was an absolutely fantastic strike by Barcola. 1-0.
And it is the worst possible start for Chelsea, just 10 minutes in. Beautifully struck on the half volley by Barcola. A thunderous hit. And Chelsea find themselves behind as Zaire Emery wins the ball back off a rather tentative Caicedo, and now Nuno Mendes with an early ball down the left-hand side. Barcola sprinting after it, he can't get there. Opposite number Fofana was across for Chelsea anyway, but Chelsea yet to settle down into this game, Tony Cascarino.
No, I don't like the start they've made, to be honest, Joe. I think Chelsea have been too slow, and they're trying to play it from the back on every opportunity. But we can see from here, you can literally see PSG players are swarming all over them in every position to win the ball back as quickly as they can.
João Pedro half wins it back down in the left wing position, but PSG are on the attack again. Barcola into the penalty area, tried to cut it back and was blocked off at the near post by Malo Gusto. A very important challenge from the Frenchman. He hoists it downfield towards João Pedro, quickly won back by Willian Pacho. And PSG from left to right in the first half are all over Chelsea in these early minutes.
They've literally come out the blocks flying, and their passing's been good, incredible movement. They are so hungry for this game. I mentioned in the lineups, you could see that these two teams were really going to be ready for it, and PSG have just come out so quickly. I think Chelsea is slightly, they're shell-shocked by how quick they've come out.
PSG 1, Chelsea 0. Real Madrid 0, Manchester City 0 is still a latest score over on Talksport in the latest meeting between those two in the Champions League. And Norwich 0, Sheffield United 1 is the latest score in the Championship. Foul by Cucurella out on the Chelsea left wing position. He body checked Doué, but PSG keep possession, and the referees happily are letting them play advantage anyway. One back by Enzo Fernandez in the middle of midfield for Chelsea, and then Pedro Neto and Palmer combine to get Chelsea a throw.
When last summer, Joe, in the World Cup Championship, which Chelsea won 3-0, they swarmed PSG, didn't make them settle in any position. Tonight, Chelsea are just standing off PSG slightly when they've got the ball.
It's not happening for Chelsea so far tonight, that's for sure. Cucurella being charged out by Doué down by the corner flag. The ball is going to spiral into the sky and out of play for a throw. Well,
every position on the pitch, whether it's Cucurella in the left back position, he hasn't got time to lift his head up and find a pass. Doué's on top of him immediately. It's happening all over the pitch so far, and we're seeing it now on the right side with Gusto.
Looking for Palmer, who drifts over the halfway line and is in a foot race with João Neves. Palmer rolls the ball up the right. Malo Gusto could be in here. Can he cut it back across? Enzo Fernandez on the edge of the penalty area with the shot, and it's harmlessly over the top and onto the running track behind the goal.
Well, it was quite good play. First time really in the opening, 12 minutes of the game. Palmer gets on the ball, threads it down the line, and Gusto just pulls it inside to Enzo Fernandez, and he gets it, and he puts it up in the stands. But the first bit of really good play by Chelsea.
What I think is certainly clear about PSG is that they can be got at this season. No doubt about it. They're not quite the same team that almost swept the board last year, the Club World Cup aside. Here is Dua for the Champions League holders. Back to Vitinha with the blue boots on, and now Marquinhos just inside the Chelsea half. It's Dembele rolling it across to Nuno Mendes, who suddenly slows the pace of the game. Dembele, the number 10, Ballon d'Or winner for 2025, sets up the goal scorer Barcola. PSG 1, Chelsea 0. Dembele trying to jink into the penalty area. Across comes Doué to keep it for PSG. Chelsea are chasing shadows at times in this opening 15 minutes. Barcola with the fleet of foot down the left-hand side. Early ball in field. And the shot from Dembele is turned onto the bar by Jurgensen.
Wow. Dembele's playing a really strange position tonight. He's not playing the natural down the middle centre forward. He's dropping in little pockets, picking up the ball like he did for this opportunity, gets it on his left foot and surprises Jurgensen, who might have got a touch, but hits the bar and comes out. Again, a let-off for Chelsea.
Well, we saw last night in the Champions League just how damaging a slow start can be, Cass.
Yeah.
And Chelsea in danger of replicating that tonight. Already one goal behind in Paris. The ball is at the feet of Zaire Emery. Forward of the centre circle, goes out wide left to Vitinha. Now Barcola. No great shape to Chelsea's defending here. Reverse ball, Barcola into the penalty area. James and Fofana between them are able to shepherd it behind. And it is a goal kick to Chelsea, who look vulnerable every time PSG come forward.
Oh, great bit of play. We're just seeing it. He does. The keeper Jorgensen get his hands to it on the left-footed effort, which Dembele hits full on, and Jorgensen managed to get his hands to it and knocked it onto the post. But this PSG team have come so fast out of the blocks.
Jurgensen with a risky short pass to Caicedo, who nudges it out to Fofana in the right back position. Fofana rolls the ball forward up to halfway. João Pedro fouled by Willian Pancho in the centre circle. This game is brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports. That is the home of European football. And we're 17 minutes in, and Liam Rossini needs his team to get a grip on this game.
Well, look, PSG can quite easily see that Chelsea are trying to play it from the back, when really there's just got bodies in front of them. They're literally coming at them at a sprint pace from every position, which is making it nearly impossible. Again, looking for the little pass, Jorgensen. And Chelsea are finding it really difficult to get past the halfway line.
Enzo Fernandez has done, though. He's knocked it forward to Pedro Neto, who races into the penalty area. Onto the left foot, Pedro Neto, hit it across goal, and it's saved by Safanov. Well, he must have run 50, 60 yards there, Pedro Neto. The angle was tight inside the penalty area, pulled it back across, hit the defender, and then rolled into the arms of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was great play. Obviously involved was Enzo Fernandez, João Pedro, and then Neto, who just used his pace. Joe, you said it earlier on, there's quite clearly going to be chances here for Chelsea tonight.
Playing a very high defensive line, PSG, and they certainly look vulnerable because of that just there. Well won back in, well, I thought well won back in the middle of midfield by Caicedo on Vitinha. Referee says no. Free kick to PSG, midway inside their own half of the field. But yeah, Neto not far away.
Yeah, just seen a replay of it, and luckily for PSG, got away with it. But again, it was a warning sign. I think Chelsea have got to play as quick as they can. You know, if it's into Pedro and he feeds it back, have a runner, because that's the way of exposing PSG.
Real Madrid against Manchester City is live tonight over on Talksport. Still goalless at the Bernabeu as Chelsea win the ball back on the halfway line, and Enzo Fernandez will play it square to Caicedo. Tomorrow night, the Europa and Conference Leagues take centre stage. Lille against Aston Villa on Talksport 2 at 5:45. As Jurgensen plays yet another risky ball, chipped over the head this time of Barkala, and across to Chalobah, who I think is just saying to his goalkeeper, settle it down a bit.
Well, settling down, but again, a little pass, and I'm finding this is going to, it's a warning sign, because PSG are just, as we've said numerous times, are really hunting them down.
Palmer has lost possession at the expense of a foul, though, by Nuno Mendes. That'll be a free kick to Chelsea. Caicedo's running over towards the referee, Alejandro Hernandez from Spain. Not entirely happy with the challenge on Palmer, but I think the tackle from Dembele is just going to be punished with a free kick and nothing more. Yeah,
it's a foul, no doubt about it. It's a foul on Palmer. Dembele's done a lot of work in this opening 20 minutes of the game. He's really getting himself around the pitch. He's dropping in little pockets and holes. For a player that's been in and out of the team because of injury, he hasn't really re-established the form that he had last season. But tonight he looks really sharp.
Elsewhere on the Talksport network tomorrow night, Nottingham Forest against Michelin and Crystal Palace against Larnaca. Make sure you download our free app to be across all of the action. Lovely work by Enzo Fernandez to flick it into the path of João Pedro, racing into the box and shooting right-footed. It's blocked. Headed away then by Nuno Mendes, further cleared by Zaire Emery. Nodded down by James on the edge of the penalty area for Chelsea. João Pedro flicks the ball into the box and it's gathered by Safanov. Not for the first time tonight. Chelsea with a real sight at goal, but they still trail.
And a brilliant piece of play by Enzo Fernandez out on the left-hand side. They allowed Pedro to literally get in a position. A little bit unfortunate, the ball just didn't bounce right for Chelsea there. But finally we're seeing how much damage Chelsea can do when they go forward.
Well, 20 minutes in, Tony Cascarino, and this game is the opposite of cagey, you would have to say.
No, it's definitely not cagey.
It's expansive, it's expressive, and it is full of potential opportunity. It's 1-0 to PSG, but you get the sense it isn't a game that is going to finish 1-0.
Well, when the ball's in Chelsea's half, you can see there's 7 PSG players looking to get the ball back as quick as they can.
Good work by Malagusto to hook it onto Palmer, who crosses halfway, and the late run being made by Enzo Fernandez right down the middle. Palmer, I don't think, spotted him. Across came João Neves, and I think it will be a throw to Chelsea. Certainly the last touch was off João Neves.
Yeah, it was just Cole Palmer was looking for a bit more support because he had no one. Only Fernandez made a run. But again, he's so good at carrying the ball, Cole Palmer.
Pedro Neto for Chelsea. Infield from the halfway line, out on the near side of the left. Gets the return ball from João Pedro, who came off the bench to score in the victory at Wrexham in the FA Cup last weekend. Chelsea needing extra time. 10 changes made tonight by Liam Rosenior. Lovely football by Chelsea, but then an overhit pass by Caicedo, angled down the left. Too much on it for Pedro Neto. It'll be a throw to PSG. Liam Rosenior out of the technical area. Knows this ground relatively well, of course, from his time with Strasbourg.
Yeah, it's a great experience to come up for him, up against Luis Enrique, who he's faced before, like you said, when he was at Strasbourg. But this is different. This is Champions League. This is PSG versus Chelsea.
And it's PSG who lead by a goal to nil. Halfway through the first half here on Talksport 2. The loose ball is picked up on the halfway line by Enzo Fernandez. Again, PSG playing with such a high defensive line. Palmer sprinting down the inside right, onto the left foot. Palmer lays it square. Enzo Fernandez into the box, and he didn't shoot. Blocked off by João Neves. One back by Palmer. Palmer on the edge of the D. Can't quite find the space for the shot just yet. Plenty of players in black shirts are back behind the ball, but here's Marc Cucurella from the dead ball line to loft it across. The header goalwards is straight at the keeper from João Pedro, but the chances are really piling up for Chelsea.
Yeah, there Cucurella puts in a lovely little chip ball to the far post. João Pedro tries to guide it in, but he can't get enough power because he's flat-footed. A little bit behind him. He's got to try and knock it down to a player, a colleague who's around him. I don't think he was ever scoring with that header. He could get off the floor and get enough power behind the header.
That's the voice of the former Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino. Luis Enrique, casually dressed as ever, is out to the edge of his technical area. beneath the floodlights in Paris, where dark skies loom overhead. It's PSG 1, Chelsea 0, and Barcola, the goal scorer, has possession out on the left. In the Champions League, live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, whatever it is, they are here for it. Real Madrid lead Manchester City by a goal to 0 in that first leg, live over on Talksport tonight. Fede Valverde has got the goal. 1-0 to Real Madrid, 1-0 to PSG here. Barcola juggles the ball down by the corner flag, rolls it infield now. The shot could be on for Doué, into the area, charged down. Doué nearly got to the rebound. It was whipped off his toes by Enzo Fernandez, and Malo Gusto shuffles forward from right back. Thought about hacking it clear, eventually does left-footed. This is an extraordinarily open game at the moment.
Wow. Yes, it is. And you know what we've seen in the last 7-8 minutes, Joe, is that Chelsea have suddenly got a little bit of a foothold in the game. They haven't been under as constant pressure like they were in the first 10-15 minutes.
Coventry, the Championship leaders, are 1-0 up against Preston North End. And here is Barcola, edge of the area, right-footed corner, just beyond the far post. He really got some power and whip behind that, Bradley Barcola. And there may have been a touch from Jurgensen, or perhaps a deflection on its way through. The goalkeeper's got something on it. It's another good save, and it's a corner to PSG.
Yeah, just gets a slight deflection, and the keeper makes a save. But again, Barcola, you know, he's got a great goal with his left foot, then showing quality with his right.
Two-footed player. PSG have taken the corner short. Hakimi's got it 5 yards from the corner of the 18-yard box. Now it's Dembele to smack a delivery in, way overhit, and it balloons out of play for a throw to Chelsea in their right full-back position on the far side of the field. But if you give too much time and space to so many of these talented PSG players, they will punish you.
Yeah, which they have. And it's a really entertaining game. The first 20-25 minutes of it has been literally on the edge of the seats, and there's a lot of fans here who are enjoying this, promise you. But Chelsea are hanging in there. They've got to just find something, maybe out wide. Certainly Neto's had a couple of times where he's got away from the PSG back four, because they're open. If they could just play the ball a little bit quicker, like we saw in the last 8 or 10 minutes, they certainly have got a chance of getting an equaliser.
Oxford 1, Blackburn 0 in the Championship. That a big game in the relegation battle. João Pedro for Chelsea, beaten to the ball by the sliding challenge of Willian Pacho. Pacho just outside the centre circle, then gives it away. Caicedo with a short ball to João Pedro, who is midway inside the PSG half. He works it wide to Cucurella, standing right in front of Liam Rosenior. Now a good reverse ball by Caicedo. Reece James even better through the middle towards Palmer. Palmer's in the penalty area, but he's well tracked all the way by Nuno Mendes, coming across from left back, almost to the right back position, to win it back very diligently for PSG. Amazing bit of skill by Nuno Mendes to flick the ball around the statuesque Pedro Neto, but he did actually take it out of play.
Would you say, how many centre-halves would you see Pacho do something like that? How much skill?
All chances on for Malo Gusto in the area here, and it's squeezed through the goalkeeper and in. Malo Gusto has equalised for Chelsea. Just his third senior goal. PSG caught out completely at the back. Enzo Fernandez with the floating pass. Malo Gusto at the far post, drilled in right-footed, and it's through Safonov and in. What a game here in Paris. The world champions have equalised at the home of the European champions. It's PSG 1, Chelsea 1.
Well, I did say what a piece of skill for Nuno Mendes on the right-hand side, which is a left-back, which he did. But when he's lost the ball afterwards, there's a complete... He jogs back to the right-hand side, and Gusto is totally free. And he manages to get played to him straight away, and on the right foot, he gets a little bit fortunate. He doesn't quite catch it perfectly, but goes in the bottom-hand corner and gives Safonov absolutely no chance. But this is all because the left back has ended up in the right-back position. And it's left them so open, as what we talked about earlier.
Well, they can be extremely vulnerable defensively, PSG, this season, and Chelsea have punished them with an equaliser. Live here on Talksport 2. It is 1-1. And a first goal in the Champions League, just a third senior goal, as I say, for Malo Gusto. All of those goals have come this season, and Chelsea have held themselves level. And you can't say that it wasn't coming, Tony Cascarino, because they were creating.
The first 7-8 minutes, they looked in serious danger, Chelsea. Not been able to handle the pressure. They've just, like I said, get a little bit of a foothold, and there's going to be more goals in this game for sure.
Here they come again, Chelsea, with Pedro Neto. Real Madrid lead Manchester City by 2-0 live on Talksport right now. Fede Valverde with his second of the game. Neto's giving it away to Zaire Emery, who wins it back with great authority on the halfway line, and then Doué is chopped down by Cucurella. That'll be a free kick on the near side of the field to PSG. Referee Alejandro Hernandez is across quickly. Enzo Fernandez is leading the Chelsea protests. And no further punishment for Enzo Fernandez, who was the one who actually made the tackle. And Chelsea concede the free kick, but don't concede any further territory. So Real Madrid, Manchester City live on Talksport right now. It's 2-0 to Real Madrid and 1-1 here in Paris live on Talksport 2.
Didn't expect that. City to be behind, especially by 2.
Well, it's not been a great week for the English sides in the Champions League so far anyway.
No.
You could argue Newcastle have probably had the best results. Arsenal held at Leverkusen earlier on tonight on Talksport 2. West Brom 1, Southampton 0. That's a big goal for relegation-threatened West Brom. Early ball down the inside right for PSG is too heavy, and Jurgensen in bright orange will come out of his goal to gather it. What a breathless half an hour we've had here, Tony.
Yeah, it's everything fast and furious, and you know what you expect, high quality. Again, Jurgensen playing out from the back and getting away with it again, just.
Heart-in-mouth moment surely for the Chelsea goalkeeper. Longo's Cucurella with a raking ball downfield. Zaire Emery tussling with Enzo Fernandez, and Zaire Emery wins that individual battle. Still only 20 years of age. He made his Champions League debut at 16. He's given it away to Pedro Neto. I mean, both teams look remarkably vulnerable defensively in this game.
Yeah, they do. And there's such a high tempo. You can just see when we get to the second half of how many players will be changed, because this is relentless pace by both teams.
João Pedro, left corner of the penalty area, has lost possession, and it's hacked upfield by Zaire Emery, only as far as the statuesque goalkeeper Jurgensen, who's able to slow the game down and pop it forward to Nathaniel Chalobah. Now Cucurella with an early ball swinging high up the left-hand side, but too much purchase on it, easily gathered by the goalkeeper again. How about this in the Champions League? Bodo Glimt leads Sporting by a 0-0. Bodo Glimt, who knocked out Inter in the knockout round playoff.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised of them, to be honest, Joe, that they're leading. They've done amazing things this season in the Champions League.
Especially on that plastic pitch.
Yeah.
In the Arctic Circle, they beat Manchester City.
I think Tottenham got the best draw against them.
They did, and that was only a late draw.
Yeah.
In the league phase. Remember, PSG needed the knockout round playoffs to get to this point in the competition. They beat Monaco over 2 legs. Chelsea finishing 6th in the league phase, so qualified automatically for the round of 16. PSG 1, Chelsea 1. Barcola surging forward for PSG, unopposed infield from the left-hand side, but he plays it square straight to the feet of Enzo Fernandez. Then it's given away by Caicedo. A long way out here is Zaire Emery, the number 33. Works it wide out to the right, Hakimi. Left to right in the first half here, PSG. Chelsea playing from right to left in their change kit of all white. Little flick back by Doué right in front of the assistant referee to Hakimi. And now Pacha. Wide left on the far side was Nuno Mendes, and they are so capable of interchanging positions effortlessly here, PSG. Reverse ball by Dembele into the box is gathered by the goalkeeper.
Well, 33 minutes in the game, and I've got to say I've really enjoyed it so far. I've got no clue how this is going to end up, because either team could snatch a goal from nowhere.
And of course, we will still have a second leg to come next week at Stamford Bridge. Next Tuesday it will be. Here come PSG now with Vitinha, middle of the Chelsea half, angled ball towards the left-hand side, and Nuno Mendes, for once they slow the play down a little here, PSG, with 11 minutes plus stoppage time remaining in an enthralling first half so far here on Talksport 2. Zaire Emery forward of the centre circle with the angled ball out wide to the right-hand side. Doué with a couple of neat step-overs, trying to twist and turn beyond Cucurella, tries to nutmeg the Chelsea defender. The Spaniard gets in the way, and out of play it goes for a PSG throw.
Well, there's some great battles all over the pitch here. I'm watching Cucurella up against Doué, that's been great. Barcola up against Gusto. Dembele's wandering left, right. It's really good stuff. Great movement by both teams.
Such an impressive, effortless fluidity about Paris Saint-Germain. Vitinha with the dark hair out to the left-hand side. Barcola, socks rolled halfway down his shins, back to Willian Pacho, and everybody suddenly is in the Chelsea half bar the PSG goalkeeper Safanov. Here's the captain Marquinhos, number 5. Square to the left-hand side. Vitinha will carry the ball forward now. Gets the return pass from Barcola. Dembele almost playing in a deep-lying midfield position at the moment, Cass.
Yeah.
Marquinhos thunders the ball high and long, and again it's all the way through to Philip Jurgensen.
It's good for Chelsea at the minute. They've sort of managed to calm the storm and get a little bit frustrating for PSG. They're not finding it as easy as they did in the first 10-15.
1-1, but the attack is on here. Early ball in by Nuno Mendes, looking for Dembele. It was headed away at the near post by Wesley Fofana. Now Palmer for Chelsea, 10 yards shy of the halfway line. Chips the ball forward to João Pedro. One-on-one with Willian Pacho here, and he slips as he tries to go round him, and PSG have got it back, and they can carry it forward again now with Barcola raiding down the left-hand side and darting in field. The pass behind João Neves. Not quite the same fluency for PSG since the Chelsea equaliser. Caicedo, red boots on. James back to Fofana. Chelsea have to be so quick when they're in possession, and a slightly short back pass by Chalobah. Jurgensen just about gets there to hack it away, but this is certainly nervy watching at times for the 2,000 Chelsea fans housed in one corner of the stadium. Out wide right is Dembele again, cutting it back to Hakimi. Vitinha 35 yards out. A lot of possession for PSG all of a sudden.
Yeah, they're moving it around, but they're not really getting any chances in the last, 15-20 minutes.
Marquinhos 25 yards out. Wide right is Hakimi, and now Dembele onto the left foot, tried to play a slide rule pass in towards the run of João Neves. It's smuggled away by Chelsea. Good long ball forward by Caicedo. Pedro Neto chasing, out comes the goalkeeper, and he clears it away. Got a good starting position there, Safanov. PSG have lost it, and the goalkeepers had to race back. João Pedro slows the game down for Chelsea, who have it midway into opposition territory. For a moment there, Safanov looked really panicked as he started to dart back towards his own goal, but Chelsea eventually lose the ball anyway.
Well, heart in their hands moment there for PSG. It didn't quite fall right for Pedro. But again, a promising attack. Chelsea are getting a lot of bodies behind the ball when they lose it. All 10 outfield players are getting their back shape and doing it well.
Well, the quality of football that we're seeing over the course of this game, befitting of a quarter-final or a semi-final maybe, is and the ball is deflected behind, double deflection, last touch off Nuno Mendes. It'll be a goal kick to Chelsea. Good work by the goal scorer Malo Gusto sliding in. It's PSG 1, Chelsea 1 in the Champions League, live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it, book now at enterprise.co.uk. 38 minutes in, and Liam Rosenior will be the happier manager somehow.
Yeah, it feels like we've got a little bit of a breathing space in this game. Just settled down 7 minutes before half-time. And I think the keeper, Jurgensen, has decided to go long now and make him right. I think they don't want to get caught trying to overplay, which they did in the early part of the game.
Long, but the ball swirled over the head of João Pedro. It has dropped Caicedo on the halfway line. Real Madrid still lead Manchester City by 2-0 tonight over on Talksport. Now Cole Palmer raiding down the far side, the right. Good run on the underlap by João Pedro. Cole Palmer keeps hold of it on the corner of the penalty area now. Palmer rolls it out wide. João Pedro waiting in the middle. Gusto playing it back. Getting the return ball from Reece James, who's made the underlapping run. James across. Palmer! What a save! Chelsea can't get to the rebound. Poked away by Hakimi. And now they're on the counter. What a bit of footwork that was by Doué. Through the middle here is Ousmane Dembélé. Checks back onto the right foot again. Dembélé! Oh, that's masterful! That is champagne football from the European champions. The quality of the counter-attack, a joy to behold. And Dembélé raced through the middle, turned past two white shirts and drilled it low beyond the goalkeeper and into the net. Great save by Safanov in the build-up. Incredible footwork by Doué to slide it through Dembélé. And Dembélé, when he worked his way into the area, provided the finishing touch. It's a majestic goal. It's PSG 2, Chelsea 1.
Well, Joe, last night there was a match, Atletico Madrid against Spurs. Spurs had a glorious chance when Richarlison headed. It was saved. 9 seconds later, it was in the back of the Tottenham goal. And this is another, literally the same thing happened. Reece James broke down the right. Fabulous ball in for Cole Palmer. Hits it, keeper makes a save. And then suddenly PSG break with electric pace. And Dembélé, the last person you want running at you, at the heart of the edge of the box, twists one way, goes the other, gets it on his right foot and buries it past the keeper. And I've got to say, Jorgensen couldn't do anything about it. But it was literally probably 10 seconds from the Cole Palmer chance.
Less than that, probably.
You know,
extraordinary moment.
It was literally a carbon copy of what happened with Spurs last night. How the goal developed to save and ends up in the Chelsea's net.
The speed of the counter-attack was absolutely scintillating.
Yeah.
And we are watching a very high-quality game here.
Doué done brilliant there. Doué done absolutely fantastic. And once it gets free to Dembélé, there was a race on.
And Doué's won it back half the pitch again. Well, I think he's harshly penalised for an apparent foul on Moises Caicedo. Chelsea got a bit lucky there. And I think at this stage in the game, in the 42nd minute, Liam Rossini will be quite happy just to get them into the dressing room at only 2-1 down.
Yeah, they've done okay, Chelsea. They've caused PSG problems. But what they can't do is leave themselves too exposed at the back like they did.
Good flick by Palmer up towards João Pedro. Palmer's trying to collect the ball out on the right-hand side. He's managed to win a throw off Nuno Mendes, and he was caught late there, Cole Palmer, maybe in the face.
Yeah, I think it's accidental, but it's an arm just a little bit outstretched, and he catches him in the face. It's certainly not deliberate, just in a repeat of the Cole Palmer chance. Great save by Safanov, and then minutes later, Dembélé twists off his left foot onto his right. Can't do anything in goal, Jorgensen.
And 2-1 to PSG it is, and Caicedo is fouled again, this time a tackle from behind, and he's asking for a yellow card. Alejandro Hernandez keeps his cards in his pocket on this occasion. Desiree Doué is suggesting that Caicedo's going down a little too easily at the moment.
Yeah, Doué's made a few fouls. He's done it a little bit too often. I don't think he'll get away with another one. He'll get booked.
How about this, Cass? Real Madrid 3.
Wow.
Manchester City 0 as the goalkeeper, Jorgensen, nudges it forward to Enzo Fernandez. He's nearly dispossessed inside his own penalty area, and Chelsea are really playing with fire at the back at times.
Well, I said at the start of the game, don't do what PSG want you to do, and that is to play out from the back in dangerous areas. They are literally pouncing on Chelsea.
And Chelsea requiring all of their concentration just to smuggle the ball through and out of the defensive third at the moment. Neto's dropped into the left-back position, into the final 90 seconds of normal time at the end of the first half, and Reece James has won a free kick. Fede Valverde has scored a first-half hat-trick for Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, live on Talksport tonight. So 3-0 Real Madrid. Jurgensen does chip the ball long, up to João Pedro inside the centre circle. Is there to be yet another chance in this amazing first half that we've witnessed at the Parc des Princes? And out on the left-hand side is Cucurella with the long curly hair, instantly recognisable, wins a throw, poking it against the shins of Zaire Emery.
That goal has certainly lifted PSG. They've really got again a real aggressive part of their game has just been lifted by that goal.
Enzo Fernandez rolls it forward to João Pedro, and he's fouled from behind by Marquinhos, who'll take that foul, I think, given the location midway inside the Chelsea half. 2-1 to PSG on Talksport 2, and we're into the final 20 seconds or so of normal time. It's the kind of half of football, Tony Cascarino, that you don't really want to end, though Chelsea taking risk after risk after risk. James notching the ball out to the left in Cucurella, but it was again a rather short pass to him from the goalkeeper Jurgensen.
Well, I think get him in at half-time, Chelsea, 2-1 down, and then have a little bit of a reset. Don't play yourself out of this tie, whatever they do. They've got to be really careful, Chelsea.
Well, that is the significant factor. It is only the first leg. 2-1 to PSG. Gusto shepherding the ball back to Jurgensen. We are 15 seconds to a minute added at the end of the first half. Floated forward long by the goalkeeper. Enzo Fernandez plucks it out of the air, does really well. Options left and right. Neto to the left. Pedro Neto into the area, checks back onto his right side, finds Enzo Fernandez through the legs of the defender, and João Pedro can't get to it. Pedro Neto surely had to hit that left-footed.
Yeah, just couldn't get it under control, get it away from a shot. But a good little bit of play again by Chelsea.
Last few seconds of the first half here. Alejandro Hernandez has just had a quick glance at the watch. Oh, Chelsea have given it away on the halfway line. They are lucky to win it back. And now the half-time whistle is blown after an electric 45 minutes at the Parc des Princes. Paris Saint-Germain lead Chelsea by 2-1. And if revenge was the aim for PSG after the two teams met in the Club World Cup final 8 months ago, then revenge is on the cards here. An amazing start to this last 16 tie. So many chances at both ends, a lot of risk-taking by both teams, and it's produced a fabulous spectacle here on Talksport 2. Bradley Barcola with a beautifully taken opening goal for PSG. Malo Gusto with an equaliser after 28 minutes for Chelsea, and then Dembele with the goal of the game so far, just moments after Cole Palmer was denied by Matvei Safonov. PSG straight up the other end, and Dembele with the weaving footwork and the finish to match. At the break, it is Paris Saint-Germain 2, Chelsea 1. Take a breath, I think, Tony Cascarino. What a game.
Yeah, brilliant to watch, and just so much, technical brilliance. Players in tight areas trying to play and being capable of getting out of tight situations. I think Chelsea are a little bit guilty, and I think Jurgensen has got to be really careful about overplaying from the back. I just think this game is hanging in the balance for Chelsea, as in it could get away from them. If they give too much respect to PSG, they've got to try and bypass that closing down, because it is causing Chelsea issues, and they're swarming all over them, PSG.
What about the quality of some of the football that we've seen, Cass? Some of the finishing and the build-up play following the save by Safonov. The speed of the counter-attack was incredible, wasn't it?
Well, we talked about, as the game started, the pace of the PSG front three, and the quickest of them all is Dembele. He's like lightning, and once he gets on a one-on-one, and okay, Fafana's alongside him, but he just has got in half a yard that what he did, get it on his right foot and then bury it. They're just a side that, or this courage and the way they play, when they're good, they can be really, really good. This ain't the PSG of last season, because last season they were better defensively. We've seen Reece James on 2 occasions get in a fantastic position to, he pulled 2 balls back and both of them created chances. And what we've also seen is that if the fullbacks of PSG get too adventurous, there's space in them positions for Chelsea to exploit.
Whatever happens tonight, Chelsea fans, you can have your say on the sports bar from 10 once we're done here at the Parc des Princes on Talksport 2. Just go over to Talksport. You can call 03717 332244 to have your say with Jamie O'Hara and Carlton Cole, the former Chelsea striker. Just a quick word, Tony, on Liam Rosenior. We're only a quarter of the way through the tie. Important to remember, isn't it? Because what they don't want to do, Chelsea, is go and lose this in the first leg and concede more goals.
No, they don't. And he's got to make it clear that their biggest risk is themselves at the moment, because I think the times they have got in trouble is just trying to overplay a little bit. PSG, for the goal, have got 7 players in the 18-yard box. 7. When Barcola scores, they've got 7. That is an enormous amount of risk that they're doing. But we've seen, Joe, on 2 or 3 occasions, if Chelsea can break with pace, they could cause PSG problems as well. I'm really enjoying this game for many, many different reasons, and I'll be interested to see what Chelsea do in the second half, because this is toe-to-toe football, Joe, isn't it?
Could turn into a classic. PSG 2, Chelsea 1. Much more from Tony Cascarino to come. We'll look back on Leverkusen against Arsenal. Finish 1-1 very shortly. You are listening to the Champions League live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
Every emotion and total devotion.
It's game on.
This is Talksport 2.
Champions League live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
Do you belong here? Next to me, about to jump into the sea on an army coast-steering expedition. What's your gut saying? Walk away from the edge? Or jump in and join a team that will be by your side for life? Still listening? You belong here. Army, recruiting now. Search Army jobs.
Get 3 months half price when you switch to an unlimited SIM with 3. That means quick streaming, faster downloads, and more money to spend on the things you love. Join the UK's fastest 5G network and get your unlimited SIM today. Buy now in store or c3.co.uk.
Unlimited 24-month light plan. Proof of switching required. Based on Ookla speed test intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved. Subject to credit checks and terms.
At Kia, we know that inspiration begins with a first. Your first job. Your first love. Your first home. Now it's time for your first drive in the new Kia EV2 at our first drive weekends. It's your chance to be one of the first to test drive the Kia EV2 with its innovative technology and elegant eye-catching design. It's small in size, but big in personality. Discover what driving electric really means. Search First Drive Weekends to reserve your place today.
Kia. Movement that inspires. Amazon Spring Deal Days is here with deals up to 40% off. So Gary here can get a little deal hunting done, hiding away from his seasonal chores. He deserves this moment to save big on electronics, outdoor, home and more. Is that footsteps, Gary? Get back to work! But just one more peek at the Amazon deals before... Oh, that is lovely. Hurry to get Amazon Spring Deals, up to 40% off from the 10th to the 16th of March. Selected products only.
Who are you going for at the Cheltenham Festival?
The favourite.
The favourite.
The favourite, without a doubt.
This Cheltenham Festival, everyone's going for the free favourite pull-out in the sun. It's jam-packed with top tips and form guides for all the runners and riders. And a free £5 in-shop bet with Coral each day of the festival. Get your copy of the favourite every day only in the sun. T's and C's apply. 18 plus only. Gambleaware.org.
Left it late for Mother's Day. Don't worry. Moonpig's got ya. Because there's Mother's Day cards, and then there's Moonpig Mother's Day cards.
Aww.
You can add stickers, her favourite photos, even a message in your very own handwriting. Get it there with next day delivery. So there's no faff, no panic, and you'll still be the favourite. Plus, get 20% off when you use code MUM20. Because this Mother's Day, everyone deserves her.
Moonpig.com.
On DAB+, online, via the Talksport app, and on your smart speaker.
Kickoff live.
Slide tackling, spontaneous football and fury.
Get stuck in the thoroughly world-famous Kickoff. Readily discursive and totally immersive.
Award-winning live football commentary.
Kickoff live
On Talksport 2.
Paris Saint-Germain 2, Chelsea 1 is the latest score in the first leg of the round of 16 in the Champions League. It is an absolutely stunning game, and the second half is live and in full here on Talksport 2, so stay with us. Elsewhere in the Champions League tonight, Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 0 at half-time. Live over on Talksport, Fede Valverde with a hat-trick, and Werder Glimt leads Sporting by 2-0 in that last 16 first leg. Into the Championship, these are latest scores into the second halves here. Birmingham 1, QPR 0, Middlesbrough 0, Charlton 0, Norwich 0, Sheffield United 1, Oxford 1, Blackburn 0, West Brom 1, Southampton 0, and half-time at Coventry, the league leaders lead Preston North End by 2-0. Into League 1, Wimbledon 2, Blackpool 0, and Port Vale, who'll play Chelsea in the FA Cup quarter-final in a couple of weeks, are 1-0 down at home to Bradford City. Port Vale 0, Bradford City 1. Earlier today in the Champions League, Arsenal went to Bayer Leverkusen. And again, you heard it right here on Talksport 2.
Now into the feet of Gabriel Martinelli off the crossbar. Best chance so far of the game for Arsenal. Ronaldo dinked in and Martha with the header. Brilliant save from David Raya. In swinging corner, put towards the back post, and it's headed in by the captain, Robert Andrich. Free header at the back post. Arsenal so often praised for their corners, but that was a real lack of concentration.
Nobody marked him whatsoever. It's really, really sloppy play from Arsenal's point of view.
Goes past man, runs in between the two defenders into the penalty area, goes down, referee points to the spot. Penalty for Arsenal.
Brilliant play from Madueke.
Kai Havertz to level things up, and he does. The goalkeeper went the right way, but there was enough power on it from Kai Havertz to put it in the bottom corner. Arsenal managed to come away from the Bay Arena with the score level. Full-time score here then. Leverkusen 1, Arsenal 1.
Yes, Arsenal get a draw to take back to the Emirates next week. Let's hear now from Mikel Arteta.
Very important, obviously. So the game had different phases. Some in the first half where we were very dominant, and we had a big chance with Gavi to put a 1-0. And when you miss those chances, obviously the game can change. Then after that, we didn't finish enough actions. I mean, every time we got in and around the box, we gave the ball away, and that allowed certain counter-attacks, very unlike us. And without really conceding nothing, we needed to solve certain things. We discussed that at half-time, and we expected to start very fast, especially because we knew certain routines that they have on kickoffs, because they had 3 at the weekend, and still we get caught. We're not ready enough. We concede a chance on the header, and after that we concede the goal. So when you give that hope and an advantage to the opponent, at that level they're going to take it, and then we have to really dig in, because emotionally it becomes a very different challenge. And we had 10-15 minutes that we didn't really have enough threat and enough understanding of how we have to attack that block. But in the last 20 minutes, 25 with the changes, I think it was much better. And at the end we find a way to score the goal and draw the game.
OK, Mikel Arteta there. Leverkusen 1, Arsenal 1 on Talksport 2 earlier. And it's not just football we're bringing you on the Talksport network. Day 2 means Ladies' Day at the Cheltenham Festival, and the action delivered once again.
So we're off and running. Made to work harder than he thought, King Roscoe Gray, but it's Willie Mullins once again.
King Roscoe Gray has managed to maintain his form.
Kitchell would never been headed. Can he hold off all comers? I think he will. Final demand, has nothing left. Kitchell, how brilliant was Harry Cobden then? That was a stunning piece of front-running riding.
Just a fantastic performance.
Still Jinko Blue, another front-running ride, and he's striding away. He's turned it into a romp. Never saw another horse. Another brilliant tactical ride, this time from James Owen, and another winner for Nicky Henderson.
Nicky Henderson continues to just amaze me, the way that he is just so good.
Going for final orders, ridden by Connor Stone. Walsh still final orders, brushes through that, and he's staying on success in the cross-country chase.
So I'm going to go against Margeborough. The only thing that's going to beat Margeborough will be the fences.
Despite that mistake at the last, Ileton is another Willie Mullins winner at Cheltenham. Margeborough, the concerns about his jumping proved absolutely right.
What a day two at Cheltenham, and the action continues tomorrow. It's St Patrick's Day at the festival, and the Talksport network has all the action covered. It all starts at 6 a.m. with the sports breakfast live from Cheltenham with Alan Brazil. Then on Talksport 2 from 10, Rupert Bell and Lizzie Kelly bring you all the latest news, tips, and they'll be joined by legendary former jockey Barry Geraghty. Then on TalkSport, H&J are live from the course to bring you the first 5 races and top guests, including former Aston Villa midfielder Lee Hendry, who's on the show tomorrow, while TalkSport 2's Racing Live brings you in-depth coverage of all 7 races from 1 o'clock. You can listen to all the shows via the TalkSport app. Just download it. It's free and easy to download. Then you can swipe between TalkSport and TalkSport 2. That'll be particularly important tomorrow with Thursday's European football. Lille against Aston Villa is live on TalkSport 2 at 5:45. 8 o'clock tomorrow, TalkSport Nottingham Forest against Midtjylland. And at the same time here on 2, it's Crystal Palace against Larnaca. Meanwhile, at the Parc des Princes, the two sides expected to be out on the field of play relatively shortly ahead of the second half. Tony Cascarino, what a half of football that we've had so far. You only hope that the second half lives up to the billing.
Well, I don't think it could be any different, Joe. I really don't. I can see both teams creating and having chances to score. We said it was never going to be a 0-0 tonight in the first 5 minutes. And when it got to 1-1, straight out the bat, it's not finished at 1-1. And it went 2-1. And I don't think it's finished at 2-1. This game, I still see more goals because both teams are adventurous and attack with real pace and power, plus technique. There's some really good, high-quality footballers out there.
What would rank as a good result for Chelsea from this position, worst-case scenario?
Well, worst case is, obviously, if they go more than 1 goal behind. I still think they've got a chance at the bridge. If they're losing 2-1, 3-2 or something like that. But if they go 3... Because PSG play the same away from home as they do at home. They come after you in your own backyard. That's how PSG play. And that's why they score lots of goals. They are a high-pressing, fast-moving team. And I can only see... and look, I keep my fingers crossed that Chelsea just be a bit more disciplined from how they get the ball out of the back line to the forward line. And I don't think it should be done at high-risk football because they've slightly got away with it. We saw evidence numerous times in the first half that little clever pass, if it gets intercepted, this team will punish you.
Well, Chelsea are back onto the field. PSG likewise here beneath the floodlights at the Parc des Princes. I'm Joe Shannon. Tony Cascarino is alongside me here for commentary on TalkSport 2. It is 2-1 to PSG, but there is a vulnerability about the European champions defensively.
Absolutely. You know, Reece James has caused a few problems, got in some seriously difficult areas. That, you know, he's such a clever player, Reece James. You know, he really seems to... The one player on the pitch that seems to find a little bit of time and composure. Look, Gusto goal was pure evidence of, you know, he got free, had loads of space, gets a little bit fortunate, gets a slight touch, the keeper, Shavanov, to keep it out of the back of the net. They've got back to 1-1. Just keep doing what they're doing, but just not the risk from the back.
Well, Chelsea have had their team huddle ahead of the second half. Again, that's taken place while standing over the centre spot here in Paris, and the boos of the home supporters tell you all you need to know. But Chelsea are 2-1 down with the second half about to begin. This is TalkSport 2. Chelsea all in white with red trim, playing from left to right in the second half, and PSG all in black with yellow trim, playing from right to left. Chelsea go back to Jurgensen, and the game is back underway. Jurgensen goes long straight away, and a header clear by Vitinha for Paris Saint-Germain, who have it immediately with their left back Nuno Mendes crossing the halfway line. I remind you of the two teams in full. The PSG goalkeeper is Safanov, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pacho and Nuno Mendes, who could be in behind here down the left-hand side. An excellent sliding challenge by Malo Gusto to dispossess him. The clearance doesn't travel very far. It's at the feet of Vitinha, who's alongside Zaire Emery and João Neves in midfield, with Barcola and Dembele, the 2 goal scorers, alongside Doué up front. So I'll give you the Chelsea team in just a moment, but it's PSG at their most comfortable when they are on the ball. There is a silkiness and a fleet of foot about PSG in the attack, but Chelsea certainly will not have given up hope of salvaging a result in this first leg, Tony Cascarina.
Yeah, and I'm just watching Dembele. He's playing all sorts of positions tonight. He's been out on the left, he's been down the middle, he's played in the number 10 role, and he's just getting little pockets of space.
Well, he's so dangerous, as we saw in the first half. That spectacular counter-attacking goal to put PSG back in front before the break. A Chelsea team, Jurgensen in goal, Gusto, Chalobah, Fofana and Cucurella, James and Caicedo, with Palmer, Enzo Fernandez and Pedro Neto in support of João Pedro up front. They're back underway at the Bernabeu for the second half as well, over on Talksport tonight. Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 0 is the latest score. Barcola played over the top down the left-hand side, and Jurgensen very calm to steer the ball away from Barcola, almost at walking pace there, the goalkeeper. For a second it looked like he'd been beaten to it, Tony.
Well, he showed incredible composure there. And Barcola was running towards him. Luckily, he kept his head and he also kept possession. He did it brilliantly, Jurgensen.
A sports bar once we're done here tonight. Chelsea fans over on Talksport. 03717 223344. Doué trying to pull it back from the right. Double deflection off Moises Caicedo. And the goal kick is given to Chelsea. PSG 2, Chelsea 1.
Yeah, just seeing a repeat of the through ball and the touch by Jurgensen. Well done.
He's performed quite well tonight, in large part, the goalkeeper. Certainly a couple of really excellent saves.
Yep. It's slower, it's a little bit slower by PSG at the start of this half. Just slightly.
Header on by João Pedro. Out comes Safanov a long way out of goal, the green-clad keeper of Paris Saint-Germain, to hoist the ball clear upfield. Over the halfway line it goes, and Chelsea have it back. And certainly the pace of the game does appear to have slowed. 3 minutes into the second half. It's not quite as effervescent as it was in the first period. A pretty breathless first half, you'd have to say.
Relentless football. You know, just watching PSG just trying to manoeuvre the ball around the pitch. And I think Chelsea are well set up now. They look like they're very comfortable when the ball's being played forward. Reece James has gone a little bit closer to the other midfielders.
And he's chipped the ball out to the right to Malo Gusto, who threads it up the near side touchline looking for Palmer. Palmer towards the dead ball line now. One-on-one with João Neves. Palmer skips beyond him, and João Neves lunges in with a sliding challenge, which he had to time well, and he did, the diminutive midfielder, just poking it under the feet of Palmer, and out to play for a corner to Chelsea.
Well, 2 great pieces of play, one from Cole Palmer and one from João Neves, who stayed with him. He jigged one way, jigged the other. It looked like he got past Neves, and then suddenly he appeared and got a touch, and it's a Chelsea corner.
Fofana and Chalobah both forward. It's taken short. Work back out wide to Neto, and now Palmer. 5 yards from the corner of the penalty area. Strokes a 20-yard ball square. Caicedo, and now Enzo Fernandez. It does feel somewhat wasted, that corner for Chelsea. Header away in the end by Vitinha upfield for Paris Saint-Germain. Middlesbrough 0, Charlton 1 in the Championship. That's a significant story at the top and bottom ends of the table. Now Pedro Neto wriggling his way to the edge of the penalty area. Oh, and he nearly played it through to João Pedro, but it was smuggled clear by Willian Pacho. Chelsea win it back, and Chelsea making quite a confident, authoritative start to the second half.
Yeah, they're winning the ball back with a little bit more ease. And I'm looking forward to watching Chelsea in the next 15 minutes, because they're breaking again.
Good reverse ball down the left by João Pedro. Sliding it is Marquinhos, beating Pedro Neto to it. And it'll be a throw to Chelsea, deep into opposition territory. Chelsea 2-1 down on Talksport 2.
Well, Marquinhos done brilliantly there. the experience, the one player with lots of talent on the ball as a centre-half, really knows what he's doing. He's a great foil for many other players in the PSG team.
Oh, very confident goalkeeping again from Jurgensen as he dummies Barkala, who slid in and tried to block the clearance, but the goalkeeper gets away with it again. It's smacked downfield by Enzo Fernandez, high and long, and João Pedro leaning with the arm there, did seem to catch João Neves. Referee sees fit just to give PSG a free kick and nothing more than that.
He's been good, the referee. I really feel like he's been quite lenient and not too whistle happy, which has been really good. He's allowing this game to flow.
And amid the flow, the really top quality players on the field have thrived tonight. Coventry 3, Preston North End 0 in the Championship. The league leaders cruising again to another victory. Wimbledon 2, Blackpool 1 is the latest score in League 1. A goal back for Blackpool at Wimbledon. Zaire Emery, right corner of the area for PSG. There's an elegance about them every time they have possession. And what have you got, Chelsea, is the message. But Chelsea certainly have started the second half maybe with a greater degree of confidence than they began the first half.
Just to look a little bit more comfortable in the game. They're not being exposed or exploited it as much as they were in the first half. I've enjoyed the way Chelsea have set up, because I really believe that the clear indication from half-time has been, don't let this game get away from you, which at one period in the first half it looked like that could happen.
Caicedo's got the ball, middle of his own half, rolling it back to Jurgensen, all in bright orange, and Jurgensen manages to find James just about. James tears forward up to the halfway line. Liam Rossini has said it's a fluid situation with his goalkeepers, and he'll pick whoever he sees fit to play in each individual game, almost as though they were an outfield player. But we know the goalkeepers are a different breed, and it's a very different position. Pedro Neto's rolled it forward to Enzo Fernandez, who wriggles away from the challenge of Hakimi and wins Chelsea a throw. Taken quickly down the left, João Pedro after it. William Pacho at his back. Pacho gets a half tackle in. João Pedro's ended up going to ground, and the decision ends up going PSG's way. I'll give you the benches as well. For Chelsea, the substitutes, there are two goalkeepers on the Chelsea bench tonight here at the Parc des Princes, Sanchez and Merrick. Tosin, Badiashile, Delap, Santos, Sarr, Hato, Achampong, Guiu, Lavia and Garnacho, the rest of the Chelsea bench. And for PSG, there are likewise two goalkeepers, Chevalier and Renato Marin. Also among the subs, Lucas Beraldo, Zabani, Kvaret Scalia, Ramos, Lee, Luca Hernandez, Mayulu, Dro Fernandez and Mbaye. So lots of quality for both sides to turn to among the subs should they need it. Nuno Mendes hugging the near side touchline and accelerating forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Nuno Mendes works it wide. Barkala in a crossing position. Barkala steers it square. Dembele lets it run. Zaire Emery wide to Hakimi. Down the right, pulls it across. Cleared away by Chalobah on the stretch. Wonderful football by the European champions.
Yeah, PSG moved the ball really fast. Interchanging positions. Never giving Chelsea a moment to rest. Really good play by PSG on the edge of the 18-yard box, of Chelsea's 18-yard box.
When they get into their groove, PSG, there is a relentlessness about them. Paris Saint-Germain 2, Chelsea 1 here on Talksport 2 in the UEFA Champions League. This game is brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. And on the right-hand side is Zaire Emery, long-sleeve shirt on. PSG all in black tonight with yellow trim. Dembele with the bright yellow boots on, sets up Doué, nudges it further down the inside right, and the handball by Zaire Emery just catching Cucure's clearance. It'll be a Chelsea free kick, and it's certainly still not cagey, is it, Cass? But
no.
It's a little more tactically structured maybe than the first half was.
Yeah, it is, and what we're going to see is, I think, the use of substitutions, because I think both teams have got a lot on benches, whether it's Garnacho, whether it's Delap. You know, you've got players who can, and I'm just seeing Kvaratskhelia getting warmed up as well. There's a lot of talent on the benches. I think there'll be a number of changes, and I expect a really fiery second, looking at the second half and the last 30 minutes, I still think there's a lot more to come from this game.
Norwich 1, Sheffield United 1. Equaliser for Philippe Clement's Norwich in the Championship. That not really the result that either team need if they are to have any fleeting chance of the playoffs. Leverkusen 1, Arsenal 1. It finished earlier on Talksport 2 in that last 16 first leg. Werder Glimt 2, Sporting 0 is the latest score. And live over on Talksport, it's Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 0. PSG are on the attack. Doué raiding down the right. He's easily glided beyond Chalobah and nearly beyond Caicedo too. Caicedo did well coming across, whipped it onto the heel of Doué, and it spun out of play for a goal kick to Chelsea.
Well, how quick did Doué look there? He just literally glided past Chalobah. Brilliant pace. Technical as well again. Doué, such a handful.
He made that look exceedingly straightforward there, Doué. Worryingly for Chalobah. More live football on the network tomorrow, by the way. Lille against Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest against Midtjylland, and Crystal Palace against Larnaca. All live across Talksport and Talksport 2. Pedro Neto winning it back for Chelsea. Surging forward down the left-hand side. Taking on Marquinhos. He gets past him. He pulls it back. Enzo Fernandez is there to make it 2-2. And he slides on his knees in celebration. What a moment for Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez arriving late, picking out the top corner, and what a tie this is. And we're only in the first leg. PSG 2, Chelsea 2.
Well, a crossfield ball by Mendes, and I've got to say Neto does brilliantly, just nicks it off Doué, gets away, then gets on a one-on-one with Marquinhos. Brilliant pace and pulls it back right for Fernandez, who's arriving on his right foot. Fernandez in front of goal. An absolutely sensational goal. Great finish by Enzo Fernandez. 2-2. And I'm going to say again, Joe, it ain't ended here on 2-2.
There's still over half an hour to go in the first leg.
Well,
it is so enjoyable, this, and delight for the Chelsea fans behind the goal.
Fabulous goal. Enzo Fernandez, I think he's been phenomenal this season for Chelsea. Watched him probably 10-15 times, and I come away every game, and what a player he's become. An £100 million player. They invested so much in. I mean, I'm just seeing the kick-off again by PSG, and they've kicked the ball out of play again.
Kicking for touch. And it's a Chelsea throw in the right back position, but it's Enzo Fernandez's goal, and a thrilling first leg is level here at 2 apiece.
How about Neto though, Joe, there?
What a run.
What a run. That's Pedro Neto at his very best. Wanting a run at a one-on-one against Marquinhos, and just gets half a yard, and a brilliant pullback. Fantastic goal by Chelsea.
All PSG though, down the left-hand side. James sweeps it away from Dembele and cleared away by Philip Jurgensen. Having his best scoring season at Chelsea, Enzo Fernandez, after 17 assists last season. That is a 12th goal of this season for the Argentine.
Yeah. He lost possession of the ball there, Caicedo. Well, he has been, he's just lifted his game in every way, and he does get more goals than he did initially, and I think he's got that Lampard type of attacking forward intentions. He does it really, really well, and what that was today, the hunger and desire to get into the 18-yard box, chasing Neto down, and he gets his rewards.
An hour gone, 2-2 on Talksport 2, and you get the sense that the scoring is far from done yet, and of course the biggest drama of the tie itself still very much yet to come. Kvaratskhelia is ready to come on here for Paris Saint-Germain, the Georgian, widely regarded as the greatest Georgian footballer of all time, ready with his number 7 on the back of his shirt. Pacho for PSG. Which way will this game swing next? Where will the pendulum take us? Marquinhos onto the right edge of the penalty area. Plays a 1-2 with Hakimi. So that's twice Chelsea have pegged back PSG. You have to say that shows tremendous character from Liam Rossini's team. But Barcola driving forward in field from the left and setting up Vitinha scampering forward to join the attack. Now João Neves with white tape around his ankles, a swirling ball high to the right. Doué did really well to keep that in play, nodding it into the path of Hakimi. Zaire Emery back to Hakimi. We've seen the good and bad of PSG tonight, just as we expected really before the game, Tony.
Yeah, we talked about their attacking prowess, and also they're a little bit, especially from last season, the liability defensively.
Well, there was a break on for Chelsea there with João Pedro, but he didn't see Pedro Neto's run away to the left-hand side. Instead went across to the right, and Palmer, Chelsea keep possession, but the chance of a break forward is gone for now.
We're going to see Kvaratskhelia come on now. Is it going to be for Doué? I'm not sure.
Fourth official has got his number up.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. So that's the first change of the game. Doué replaced by Kvaratskhelia, the former Napoli player who only joined, remember, in January, so partway through last season, and came in and, of course, scored in the Champions League final as well.
Yeah, a fantastic talent. Really, he's got everything. And at the moment that Doué lost possession of the ball against Pedro Neto, his number went up, Doué.
Chelsea look long for Palmer down the inside right. Too long, the pass, and it's gathered by Safanov, who throws it out overarm to the middle of midfield in Vitinha. Paris Saint-Germain 2, Chelsea 2, in front of a full house at the Parc des Princes in the southwestern part of the inner suburbs of Paris. A location that Tony Cascarino knows well.
Well, 16th arrondissement. I lived there. And the Paris was one tube station away from where I lived. But don't tell any Marseille fans, they'll be furious.
Absolutely. Played for Marseille and Chelsea, of course, did Tony. Here's Marquinhos, right edge of the penalty area. Forward ball given away. One back by Cucurella. And then Zaire Emery just beat Neto to it in the 50-50. It'll be cleared upfield by the weaving footwork of Kvaratskhelia, who manages to win a free kick to PSG, 20 yards shy of the halfway line. I mean, I asked the question, Cass, which way will the pendulum swing next? We've got 27 minutes to go plus added time. 2-2, could go either way.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's, you know, predicting this game is nigh on impossible, because both teams have shown that they are capable of getting another goal, a third goal. They're both dangerous.
Barcola drifting in field from the left and bringing the ball down beautifully and trying to charge his way through the middle. Across came Wesley Fofana, and enough on the challenge by Fofana. He was sandwiched in between two white shirts there, Barcola, to see it all the way back to Jurgensen.
Yeah, Barcola, great bit of skill, just didn't get the run of the ball.
Now Cole Palmer's picked it up for Chelsea on the halfway line. Whichever way this game swings, there is one guarantee: there is going to be entertainment and there are going to be goals, surely. Kvaratskhelia, marauding run to the corner of the box, sets up Vitinha, shuffling feet away from Palmer. Kvaratskhelia, ball sticking to his feet like glue until Caicedo came across to whip it off his toes. And now João Pedro, about 10 yards shy of the halfway line, looks up for Chelsea, beaten to it by the tackle of João Neves, and suddenly Luis Enrique applauds as PSG have a good spell on the ball.
Yeah, good defending there by PSG. You know, the ball's moving fast around this pitch. There's not much breathing space.
Barcola in a central area now, knocks the ball out to the left, and Nuno Mendes, early low cross gathered by Jurgensen, not close enough to Kvaratskhelia, who made a late run into the box.
Yeah, just a little bit too comfortable for the keeper there. A simple take. Jurgensen not had so many chances, have they, in the second half, PSG?
No.
Can't find it a little bit more difficult to get past Chelsea, who've been really well set up in the second half.
Chelsea have been excellent, haven't they?
Yeah.
In this second period. 2-2 on Talksport 2. Sport's about to come, as I say, on Talksport, and then Talksport breakfast from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, live from the Cheltenham Festival. Alan Brazil, Gabby Agbon-Lahore and Harry Redknapp, a guest on the show from 8 until 10 tomorrow morning.
Well, I wonder if Harry's going to be asked about the Tottenham job.
Surely, surely. It's a live question at the moment, although Igor Tudor is still technically in post.
I know.
Great ball sweeping out to the right by Vitinha to Van Hakimi. Now Dembele dropping deep to about the 25-yard mark, finding Hakimi right corner of the penalty area. Back now to Dembele, who's shuffled a few yards further forward. Hakimi again in a crossing position, stumbles almost on the ball. It's driven upfield, hacked away by Fofana. Fofana, the Frenchman in Paris. Now PSG have it again with Vitinha. Into the final quarter of a sparkling first leg. Vitinha, reverse ball down the left from Barcola, and he can't keep it in, the sliding Nuno Mendes. It's a goal kick to Chelsea, and I wonder whether PSG are starting to get a little frustrated here.
Yeah, they are. It's been a really tough evening for both teams, both causing each other problems. Really, you know, it's that type of game, Joe, where you just see how much talent and what they're doing in really special moments. Both are dangerous.
Jurgensen driving the ball long onto the chest of João Pedro on halfway. His distribution's been excellent tonight, the goalkeeper. PSG quickly win it back, though, and Zaire Emery looks for Dembele, but he is well dealt with by Chalobah. And now João Pedro up the middle. He's got options left and right. Goes wide left to Pedro Neto. 2-2, 68th minute. João Pedro a bit conservative there. Goes back to Cucurella.
I think it's the objective now. Honestly, you're looking at the final, 20-odd minutes plus injury time. This so far is a really good result for Chelsea, 2-2.
Oh, Kang-in Lee is getting some final instructions on the near side touchline for Paris Saint-Germain. He will be onto the field relatively shortly. It says a lot that Chelsea have not seen fit to make a change as yet, with just over 20 minutes to go. And that is a compliment to their performance, particularly in the second half. A very mature display from Liam Rosenior's team.
Yeah, they're just taking the pace out of the game. And more long balls as well, isn't there? Joe, you know, we're seeing the keeper is not prepared to overplay around his own 18-yard box. So we're going to see a substitution now, Joe. With Dembele, I think he's played really well tonight. He's shown a lot of his old sharpness. He's a player that caused so many problems with his pace.
Well, the first start since returning from injury for Dembele, so you can understand maybe that they are managing his minutes to some extent. On comes the South Korean Lee, who's only ever scored one goal in the Champions League in his career, and that was back in 2023. 2-2.
Yeah. As we approach 70 minutes in a game that's just had us on the edge of our seats. Just a little bit calmer at the moment. I've got to say, Chelsea have been as well drilled as I've seen, even though they conceded 2 goals, and they were really good goals that they conceded, but they look far more positioned in a formation that is making it really difficult for PSG to get any momentum in the game.
And Norwich 2, Sheffield United 1. Norwich have come from a goal down to lead in the Championship. It's still Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 0, by the way, over on Talksport tonight. Is that tie virtually beyond Manchester City already, I wonder? Finished level in Leverkusen earlier. Leverkusen 1, Arsenal 1 on Talksport 2, and 2-2 here at the Parc des Princes. So it's fascinatingly poised, but from Chelsea's perspective, particularly so, because even if they were to lose, say, 3-2, that wouldn't be a disastrous result going into the second leg.
No, I think they feel like they're a lot more comfortable. Certainly the onslaught in the first period, for the first 15-20 minutes, they've navigated their way to this position and done it really well.
Jean Neves, and on the left-hand side, almost standing in the left-back position, Nuno Mendes. who's in an inverted role at the moment as PSG thread the ball up towards the halfway line. It's been given away, and Chelsea win a free kick for a foul on Malo Gusto. And applause from Liam Rosenior on the near side touchline. We have to remember it's a two-legged game, he said, and we have discipline for that aspect, and Chelsea have certainly shown discipline tonight, which is something that you can maybe criticise them for throughout the season, a lack of discipline.
Yeah, I think they've done it really well tonight. And Reece James, I thought, really good captain's performance. He's dropped in to help the back four out, especially in the second half. He's not played that midfield position as a midfielder such.
James is standing over the ball on the halfway line for Chelsea, rolls it backwards to Fofana. The European champions. Chelsea have come to the home of Europe's finest, and it's 2-2. Long goes Jurgensen over the top towards Malo Gusto, beaten in the air by Nuno Mendes, and back to goalkeeper Safanov from Marquinhos. Safanov clatters it high and long. We don't often see PSG go as direct as that, but it's easy for James to retrieve and recover. And when he needs to, Reece James, he's stepping in between the two centre-halves, so they could even go to a 5 at the back Chelsea if they need to before the end of the game.
Yeah. It's finely poised, isn't it? So finely poised.
And of course, the second leg still to come next Tuesday. Enzo Fernandez, whose goal made it 2-2, has held the ball up impressively. Midway inside his own half, draws a foul right in front of the watchful eye of the referee, and it's a free kick to Chelsea again.
See, second half, we haven't seen Akime get into many forward areas. First half, he was doing it on numerous occasions. Second half, he's found it tricky because Chelsea are hunting down the ball quite well, and with that, when they get it, they're breaking. And he's a little bit afraid of going too far forward, Akime, tonight.
And it has been a much cagier second half, and Chelsea have looked more threatening going forward than Paris Saint-Germain. Marquinhos has to get across in front of Pedro Neto, and he rolls the ball up the far side right touchline, one back by Cucurella. Now João Pedro. João Pedro can't jink beyond Marquinhos, though. He has had a couple of chances over the course of the game. Still yet to get that clear sight of goal that he really wants. 2-2, 17 to go.
Yeah. Well, it's quite rare. We see so many long throws in, especially in the Premier League, and we see corners with lots of bodies. Tonight hasn't been that, has it, for both teams? All short throws.
Bit of throwback to last season. Pedro Neto dinks it across. Malo Gusto on the volley, takes a deflection. Well blocked by Nuno Mendes. Nuno Mendes has managed to come away with possession out on the left. It was one back though by Reece James. Chelsea, at the moment, to the better team, Tony Cascarino.
Yeah, they are. They really are, Joe. And they're prepared to get balls into areas, stop PSG having it, and because certainly first half PSG had way more possession.
Fofana pops it back to the feet of the goalkeeper. Oh, he's given it away! It's dropped to Kvaratskhelia, and now Lee! It's locked in by Vitinha! It's a nightmare for goalkeeper Philip Jurgensen, reminiscent of what we saw in Madrid last night. The goalkeeper bites his lip. He knows it's his huge mistake. Chelsea caught out, trying to play out from the back. The loose ball eventually dropped to Vitinha. He lobs it over the goalkeeper and into the net. And all of Chelsea's hard work in the second half is undone after an inexplicable mistake from Philip Jurgensen. He will be thinking about that again and again and again tonight.
Wow.
3-2 PSG.
Why would you do this? I said from the very start of the game, don't try and be clever and find an intricate pass. The goalkeeper Jurgensen, but all in the second half, got the ball out of the danger area, played long, didn't get in trouble once. And the moment he decides to play from a back pass, a little pass to a midfielder that's not on, Vitinha gets the break, and I'm gobsmacked of why goalkeepers, and I don't care about the goalkeepers union, they're sticking up for them, and this is the way you play football. This is giving games away. This has now put them 3-2 behind when they've clearly been playing really well in the second half, got themselves level, and now again they're 3-2 down.
Well, it has been coming, that sort of mistake. Kvaratskhelia now on the attack for PSG. Left corner of the penalty area, PSG 3, Chelsea 2. Kvaratskhelia wriggling his way through into the penalty area once more. Fofana comes across and out of play it goes. Corner to PSG. That's got the crowd up, that's got the momentum back for the French team. It really was an unforgivable mistake from Philipp Jørgensen.
Well, you could sound smart and being clever, but was what we talked about in the early part of the game, Joe. We talked exactly about don't give the game away. And now that's what's happened. Now Chelsea are 3-2 down.
Kang In Lee will take the corner. There are 14 minutes left. Into the near post with the delivery. It takes a bounce off the boot of João Neves and is gathered by Jørgensen, who had a very good game up until that point, but continually risk-taking. And you always felt at some stage that would put Chelsea under sufficient pressure. We are seeing it game in, game out at times, it feels like. Reminiscent of the scenes in Madrid last night. Over the top goes Malo Gusto. Sapanov out of his penalty area to hack it clear. Throw to Chelsea, level with the edge of the box. They're 3-2 down on Talksport 2.
More changes, Joe.
It's Luca Hernandez onto the field in place of Barcola. So that most certainly is a defensive change. And Seni Mayulu on as well in place of Warren Zaire-Emery. Seni Mayulu, who is from the northwestern suburbs of Paris, scored the 5th and final goal in the Champions League final victory last season. So on comes Hernandez, and Chelsea now seeking an equaliser for the 3rd time in the game.
Yeah, I just don't know why this has got into the... think of Premier League teams this week have conceded goals on such crazy scenarios.
Well, they may have given the game away here, Chelsea, but they're still in it. Cole Palmer, forward from the edge of the centre circle, working it wide left to Pedro Neto, 3 in the middle. Neto, back to Cucurella, can't find the angle for the cross. Neto's led with the edge of the box, he's trying to drive away from Marquinhos here. Oh, and a slightly loose pass, well retrieved by Caicedo, and then Reece James in front of Kvaratskhelia. Werder Glimt 3, Sporting 0 in the Champions League tonight, so they are in control. As are Real Madrid, who lead Manchester City by 3 goals to 0 in their first leg. Chelsea nearly get caught playing out from the back again. It's all the way back to Jørgensen. Hakimi saying that was a back pass. The referee says, don't be silly. But so frustrating for Liam Rosenior, Tony.
Yeah, one for the team. I just, Jørgensen has played it long more often than not and never been in any trouble.
Good ball, Cucurella. Enzo Fernandez stays on side, rolls it inside left. Pedro Neto in behind, in towards João Pedro! 3-3!
Offside.
But the flag is up. Chelsea thought they'd equalised again, but the goal is going to be ruled out here for an offside in the build-up, I think potentially on Enzo Fernandez.
It's quite tight.
It's very tight.
It's very tight.
And he might be on here, Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, well, I'm just seeing a replay of it. I'm not quite sure because it was very, very tight. And the referee's discussing. I don't know if it was an initial through ball, Joe.
Cucurella forward to Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, it looks really, really tight. Maybe just, yeah.
And it has been ruled out. So it stays 3-2 to Paris Saint-Germain by the tightest of margins. We haven't yet seen the lines drawn on our commentary position monitor as yet. Be interesting to see with the semi-automated offside just how tight that actually was.
Yeah.
Didn't seem to be a lot in it, but Chelsea are still behind. Jørgensen, ball at his feet again. Turning away from Hakimi and finding James. He's certainly got bold confidence, the goalkeeper. Fofana fouled by Hakimi. It's the one big disappointment about Chelsea's performance tonight, really.
Yeah.
Now, how tight was that offside, Cass? Well, in the end, half a yard.
Yeah, well, it looks, from our angle, it looked slightly deeper, didn't it? Or a bit tighter. But look, it's a frustrating night, but it's still 3-2. And, you know, PSG have made changes to be more defensive. Hernandez will play as a defensive player more than, obviously, Barcola.
They go back to goalkeeper Safanov to PSG. Into the final 9 minutes of the game. Paris Saint-Germain 3, Chelsea 2. Header on the halfway line by Chalobah. In goes Fofana to poke it forward. It's dropped as far as Vitinha. And Vitinha quickly to the right and lead. On the overlap is Achraf Hakimi. Hakimi surging forward to the edge of the area, drilling it square right along the edge of the box. And Kvaratskhelia can't keep it in play. It's a Chelsea throw down there right, and Kvaratskhelia just knocked the ball away from Palmer as he came across to take the throw, delaying the restart, and Palmer wasn't happy with that.
No. Oh, it's been this game is absolutely flown by. We're on 81 minutes now, nearly 82.
Well, you did say that there was going to be no end to the scoring at 2-2. How about at 3-2 to Paris Saint-Germain? Referee's got in the way of João Pedro. Chelsea will get the ball back. They're going to make a double change. Romeo Lavia and Liam Delap, who has not scored in his last 13 appearances, is going to be one of the players to come on. I think it is just Lavia and Delap.
Yeah.
A lot of hasty activity on the near side touchline. Palmer's going off first of all. On comes Lavia, and the other player leaving the field is João Pedro. Straight swap for Delap.
Yeah. Well, I think it's necessary to get players on, because there's been a lot of energy in this game, and players are going to be drained, and I think you have to introduce new legs, and that's what hopefully Delap can give them a Lavia.
Well, that's certainly what Chelsea are hoping for here. 3-2 down away in Paris. There is still some hope in the first leg, and of course still plenty of hope in terms of the context of the tie overall.
Oh, great
Good ball by Lavia, threaded forward to James, who pokes it on to Delap. Delap right-hand edge of the penalty area here, one-on-one with the defender, he shoots! And he's sliced that wide. Was there a touch? I'm not entirely sure if there was off Willian Pacho. No. Wasted opportunity for Chelsea.
Yeah, I think Delap chose the wrong option there. He's got a tight angle on the right, and he makes it even tighter by putting it on his right foot. Well, I just didn't think that was on. If anything, he had to come on his left foot.
And great noise from the home supporters here in Paris. 6 minutes plus added time to go for Chelsea to try and find an equaliser. But they're very much in this tie, even if it does finish 3-2. And Chelsea thought they'd won it back on the halfway line, but not the case. It's a throw to Paris Saint-Germain. Palmer and João Pedro sitting next to each other on the substitutes bench. It really should be 2-2, but for the inexplicable mistake of Jurgensen.
Yeah. Look, it's really finely poised, as in, if it stays 3-2...
They can't afford to do is concede a fourth, and mindful of that as Kang In Lee comes forward up to the edge of the area. Now Hakimi plays it backwards. Vitinha, who has scored the goal to separate the two teams, let it run, and they've made a good run out to the far side of the field where he'll tuck it back into the path of Hakimi. Chelsea have funneled players back behind the ball. PSG still have possession until Caicedo is there to win it back, and now James playing in a slightly more advanced position, it would seem, at the moment in the game, loses out in the middle of midfield. Diligently won back by Mayulu for Paris Saint-Germain. Home crowd are on their feet with 5 minutes to go in the game. Still Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 0. Chelsea are 3-2 down here. Kvaratskhelia up to the edge of the area, right-footed shot! Oh, what a brilliant goal! Kvicha Kvaratskhelia has curled it beyond the outstretched arm of Philip Jørgensen, and this night is turning very sour indeed for Chelsea. From such a promising position, they are now 2 goals behind in the tie, but explosive pace and power from Kvicha Kvaratskhelia to pick out the top corner with aplomb. Remarkable noise all around the ground. It's Paris Saint-Germain 4, Chelsea 2.
Well, when it comes on to Kvaratskhelia right on his left side and he cuts on his right foot, wow, what a strike. He literally bends it round, uses his defenders to just get the position to put it in the top corner. Fabulous strike. Jørgensen, absolutely no chance. This is what this lad's capable of. I said before the game, Joe, I was surprised he was left out of the lineup because he's got a George Best in him. He's got that ability to take people on. He goes one way, he's hard to stop. He's got unbelievable technical ability. And you just got to marvel at the goal, and now it's put Chelsea in a real pickle. 4-2 down now.
And do they need something before the end of this leg, Tony?
Well, they're going to try, but I'm just so conscious now that when it went 3-2 of not letting this game run away from them when they played so well for periods, long periods.
4-2 on the night to PSG here in the first leg on Talksport 2. Kvaratskhelia with that little sparkle and bit of star quality is beyond James. He's into the area, he's still going, he's pulled it back, and the ball is turned wide by Mayulu. I think the referee might have given a free kick in the build-up anyway.
I'm not sure about that. Free kick on Kvaratskhelia. But again, this is the danger.
Yellow card for Kvaratskhelia as well.
He was very frustrated that the referee gave a foul against him. I didn't see anything. Wow. And literally, how long, Joe, it feels like they've lost their way, Chelsea, in this from nowhere. See what a mistake, from a goalkeeper that wants to try and overplay, has literally changed this game in a heartbeat.
Changed the complexion of the whole tie.
Absolutely. Chelsea have done so many good things tonight and they've conceded 4.
Garnacho on for Malo Gusto for Chelsea. A sense maybe from Liam Rossini that they need something. They need a third goal here to keep themselves realistically in the tie. Because to go up against the European champions at Stamford Bridge, trying to come back from a 2-goal deficit might be too much for them.
Honestly, I think take 4-2 now. You've got a whole second leg at Stamford Bridge. If it goes 5, which is quite conceivable, if something breaks for you and they get a goal, great. But don't let it go 5. You can win at home, you can win in a Bridge. You can mount a lot of pressure on a team.
Well, there are only 90 seconds plus added time to go. Paris Saint-Germain 4, Chelsea 2. Neto on the halfway line, beaten to it by Luca Hernandez, who rolls it forward to Nuno Mendes. I'm not quite sure how PSG have found themselves in this very positive position in the game, given how they played for really the whole of the second half up until that third goal.
Well, a 2-2, Joe, it looked like it could go more likely 3-2 Chelsea.
Oh, Jørgensen's under pressure again and he's rolled it forward and Caicedo can't get there. And now the chance is on. It's lead square to Lee. It's a catastrophe for Chelsea. But I think the flag is up and it saves Jørgensen's blushes there.
Well, I'm speechless on this. This is ridiculous. Why? Why are you trying to play the ball into midfield? That is so dangerous if you lose possession. You're basically giving a one-on-one to the opposition. Fernandes is telling him. Enzo Fernandes is shouting, telling him, just get the ball out of the danger area.
Did he not see the game in Madrid last night, Philip Jurgensen. It's absolutely baffling what he's doing.
It is the crucial disease. It's like a disease in football that's been created with this always overplaying in danger areas of the pitch, where if you lose the ball, you're basically given a goal chance for a team, better than a penalty kick, to have a one-on-one with a keeper.
And Chelsea maybe kept in the Champions League thanks to the fact that PSG are offside. Pedro Neto's got to be careful. He's actually wrestled the ball off. Is that a ball boy that he's had to wrestle the ball off, or is it a substitute? The referee's come across the near side of the field. It's a ball boy that he's come across here, Pedro Neto, wrestled the ball off, and the ball boy has gone down holding his face. And now the referee comes across. The PSG players are getting involved as well. The ball boy is being treated by the physio, it looks like, on the near side. And Pedro Neto, what sort of punishment is he going to face for that? It's going to be a yellow card, I think, out of the pocket of the referee.
Well, it wasn't quite clear what had actually happened, but it was the ball boy. And I think Enzo Fernandez just tries to grab the ball off the ball boy quickly. Whether he caught the ball boy, I'm not sure. But the referee's in the middle of it. Look, there's a bit of a melee, and all the players, PSG, Chelsea players, all surrounding each other. I'm really not sure what actually happened, but certainly the ball boy went to ground. Look, there's a frustration. They've just gone 4-2 down. Enzo Fernandez was literally a minute ago arguing with his keeper. So...
well, it was Neto who went over to retrieve the ball from the ball boy, who was slow to release it. He was deliberately trying to slow it down, it looked like, and he shoved him over while getting it, Pedro Neto, which he shouldn't do.
No, it's one of them horrible situations. You just don't quite know. I mean, the ball boy has fallen to the ground, but then afterwards Enzo Fernandez, but Pedro Neto.
Well, he has been booked, I think, Pedro Neto here.
It all happened so quickly, didn't it?
And now Luis Enrique and Reece James are having a conversation. The ball is back with Chelsea, and we are 2.5 minutes into 3 added at the end of a game. Has he given a foul throw here against James? I think he has.
Yeah. What a strange ending to the game, hasn't it, Joe?
Well,
you know, just the way it's panned out.
A chaotic game.
Absolutely. And we've seen 6 goals, and there's been some fabulous football, and yet it's all ended in a bit of a strange way, where it leaves Chelsea 4-2 behind.
And they could see it get even worse here. Hakimi is surging down the right and into the area. Mayulu at the back post. Kvaratskhelia! It's 5! Through the goalkeeper! Chelsea have capitulated right at the end. They fall apart in Paris, and the European champions take gleeful advantage. Kvaratskhelia has rolled it in. Jurgensen got a hand to it, but so crucially he couldn't keep it out. And Chelsea have produced 15 of their worst minutes of the season to fall 5-2 behind. And is that Chelsea out of the Champions League already?
Well, we saw last night 17 minutes of the worst of Tottenham's season. Now we've seen 16 minutes of Chelsea's. I don't know how they've got to lose this 5-2. And I don't want to keep complaining about the keepers for the 3-2 goal, but from that moment onwards, it's been total meltdown by Chelsea. And I just don't get how they've got to 5-2 down. It's a shame, because there was so much to look forward to. Look, they're obviously not out the tie, but boy, have they put themselves in a really horrible position.
Well, they will not learn, it would seem. Jurgensen has had a personal nightmare in the second half here, and the final whistle is blown, and Chelsea face an absolute mountain to climb if they are to have any chance of reaching the quarter-finals of the Champions League. They have been humbled in the end by the holders. Paris Saint-Germain have won the first leg by 5 goals to 2, but in the circumstances, that scoreline is absolutely inexplicable, because it was 2-2 with just under an hour played. Enzo Fernandez with a second equaliser for Chelsea, before, with just 15 minutes to go, Liam Rosenior's team totally fell apart, all after Jurgensen's dreadful clearance, trying to play out of the defensive third. The loose ball chipped in by Vitinha over the head of the helpless goalkeeper, and then Kvaratskhelia off the bench to score 2 well-taken goals in the final minutes of the game. The Chelsea players, with forlorn looks on their faces, go over to applaud the 2,000 travelling fans, but Chelsea's Champions League campaign may already be over. The sternest of tasks awaits them in Stamford Bridge for the second leg. It has finished. Paris Saint-Germain 5, Chelsea 2. How has it ended up like this, Tony Cascarino?
16 minutes of literally, frightened the game away. And I can't believe what I witnessed in the final, quarter of an hour of the game, because Chelsea never deserved to lose this game 5-2. They were so much in it, they fell behind, got the equaliser, then went 2-1 behind, and then got the equaliser again. Could have gone 3-2 up. They looked like they had everything in their game to go and win 3-2. At worst, maybe draw. And the moment Kvaratskhelia came on the pitch, I said, and I don't use this lightly, there ain't many players in the world that could do things that he can do. He's such a gifted player. When he got it on his left foot and then shifted it to his right and bent it in the top corner, leaving Jurgensen no chance. And then from there, it just Chelsea just fell off a cliff. Really did.
Well, do you put it down to game management or lack of? Do you put it down to tactical approach that last 15 minutes? Because they were not cruising at 2-2. You're never cruising against Paris Saint-Germain, but they were managing the game effectively.
Yeah.
And then it all fell apart.
Joe, at 4-2, I said, I'll take 4-2 now. Just don't go 5-2.
But he brought on Garnacho instead.
Yeah, you maybe look, the manager has... Liam Rosenior, he's made some calls because he thinks it's 4-2 and he probably feels like we might be able to snatch one back. I personally thought, don't let it go. You cannot let this go 5-2. If you're 2 goals behind going to the bridge, you still got a really good chance. Three goals, well...
Is it over?
Well, it is for me, but we've seen amazing turnarounds in football, and Chelsea most certainly need that.
Right, let's pick our man of the match now with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
The Here For It hero on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Extraordinary night at the Parc des Princes. Who is your man of the match, Tony?
The sub, Kvaratskhelia. I think he ultimately changed the game. And yes, he wasn't on that long, but what he done in, 30 minutes was 2 goals, literally. If you said Chelsea, I thought Fernandes was superb for Chelsea. His goal and his assist for the first goal, I thought he done brilliantly well. But I've got to say, Kvaratskhelia is just an extraordinary player. And I did say before the game, can't believe he's out the starting 11.
Kvaratskhelia is our man of the match, Here For It hero with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.